Oh, we are live. Look at us. Welcome to In Your Element, the podcast where faith meets real life. This show dives into what it means to follow Jesus, from navigating pressures and social media to tackling big questions about identity, belief, and purpose. Our hosts and guests keep it raw, real, and rooted in the Word. Whether you're trying to live out your faith or just curious about how God is moving, you're in the right place. This is your faith, your city, your voice in your element. I am here with a guest that is really important to me. And this is my wife, Carina Barreto. Look at us. We run Element together. If you don't know, if you're hearing like In Your Element, what is Element? Element is our youth ministry here at Grace and Peace Church. And actually at Element is where I met Carina, my wife and the mother of our baby girl. And so Carina, say hello to the peoples.
Hey guys.
And yesterday we just celebrated E13, which is 13 years of youth ministry. And we had the pleasure of being a part of all 13 years, starting off as teenagers into now leading the ministry now. So when you think about E13, when you hear 13 years of Element Youth Ministry, what is the one thing? It could be a silly moment. It could be anything. What is just the one thing that comes to your mind when you think of 13 years of Element?
For me, I think it's just all the different people we've come across. I mean, we've been youth, we were leaders, and now we're the directors. And I think it's just all the cycles of generations that we've been able to witness, and just some of it is doing life with, or all of them is, or all. Yeah, just like the different people we come across and all the different generations, and even like how COVID has affected just how kids are nowadays. But yeah, just all the different generations.
Yeah, that's good. When I think of 13 years, there are two things that come to mind. There's one, the actual first day they started Element. We were in our old building and we didn't have a room solidified for youth ministry. But our youth pastor at the time, who is our lead pastor now, Pastor John Eric, took a bunch of the youth that were already there at church, which was us and then a few others. And he was like, we're going to paint this room and we're going to deck it out for youth nights, and we're going to host it here in this space. So that's one of the core memories that I remember, is that we were into this room. It was I think it was like a green color at first. And then we painted it yellow and gray, which is our colors now of our logo. And then on one side it was gray, but then we had like in the middle, we painted it like the chalk black, so that way we can write on use chalk to write names and write whatever that week. So that's a core memory of mine, of us painting. And then the moment we got the baton passed to us, that was, as you had mentioned, kicked off before already. It was during COVID, and we were having church outside, drive-through style, and Pastor John Eric passed the baton to us to lead the ministry from there on out. And we had the toughest job of of leading teenagers during a COVID season
On Zoom.
on Zoom. And that really kick-started just like how we do ministry now. Like it's more intentional, and we're able to really navigate harder conversations now because of Zoom. We're able to even like how to engage in the room, how to get them to interact and participate. Like that really helped us catapult to where we're at now. And so those are kind of the two core memories that I remember about E13. Now, through the 13 years of ministry, there was a lot of events that we have done. What was one of your like favorite events that you participated in that you like, it's a core memory for you? And I think I have an answer for you already, but I don't want to answer yours. But I think you have one. And if we're on the same page, look at us.
I was gonna say the camp that you weren't even at.
That's not what I was thinking, but okay.
Were you thinking about promposal?
Nope, I wasn't thinking. I was thinking about the first Amazing Race because you won that one, didn't you? Right? That was your team.
I did love
and Navy
Amazing
Pier,
Race.
you won the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
Amazing Race. So I thought you were gonna say that, but the fact that you said the camp without me, like that is wow. My own wife. No.
Well, that camp, it ended up only being like 4 boys who went. And then we had like maybe 30 girls.
Wow.
And it was a really cool camp. They had just a lot for us to do. But I remember they took us on a day-long canoe trip. So we were canoeing, and a lot of the girls had never done it before. So it was their first time. So a lot of the beginning was just trial and error, figuring out how to paddle. And then once they got it, that's when like the fun came, and we were all just rowing down. I think it was the Fox River together. Oh, no names.
No, it's okay. It's a river. It's a river.
Yeah, we were just traveling down the river, and I remember someone had a speaker, and we were just singing songs together. And then we docked at a sandbar, and we had lunch, and we played games, and then we started making our journey back. But yeah, I remember just most of the girls on that trip just getting super close. So I don't know. You know me, I love camp, so
Yeah, you're a big outdoorsy person. Anything with boats, you like to do
yeah.
kayaks.
That's true.
I'm not an outdoorsy person, but I can tolerate it at the moments that we. If it involves fun, I'm there. That's just really what it is.
Yeah. But the Amazing Race, I won Amazing Race. I think it was like 3 years in a row.
Yeah, you were kind of an undefeated champion, and
Yeah,
it
so
was
they
really
banned
making me upset.
for-
Yeah, we had to ban her from not being a team lead because she was winning so much. Give other people equal opportunity, you know. But when you're goated in something, I guess you're goated. So 3-peat, you're like Jordan, Bulls, and look at you. I think one of my core memories is also camp, but when we had camp at Woodhaven. And those camps were, one, they weren't like your normal like church camp or like just even like campground. Like it was just so out of the ordinary. It's different. But man, did we have a time there. We there's 2 memories that come to mind.
Prank wars?
Huh?
Prank wars?
Now 3. Yeah. No, there's a lot of memories that come with this, but there's 2 specifically that I'm thinking of. There's one, gonna capture the flag, where me and Carina were like rivals on the other side of the team. And I remember going through hoops and tall grasses and trying to just like ambush to get this flag. And I am trying my hardest to capture this flag, and all of a sudden I hear this screaming like loud as ever, and I'm like, what is happening? And I look in the middle of the field, and there goes Carina, just like running down the middle with the flag. And I'm like so upset because I was like this close to getting their flag, but I had people chasing me. And then all of a sudden I see Karina just jetting and running. And my wife did cross country in high school, so she definitely knows how to run long distance and at a good speed. So when I saw her running down, I was so pissed. I was like, dang, we're not gonna win. And then there was another one where we it was taking a group of kids to the centralized, I guess, at the campground. There was like a public bathroom where we can everyone can shower, use the
Oh,
bathroom. And we are the student lead or the oldest of the group.
Yeah.
And apparently our group or the kids that we had took with it was at least like 20 of them that were following us to go
We were
do
all
shower time and all of
showering,
that. And I guess we were a little too loud on the way over there. That the camp
called
police
yeah.
had to come, and they were all like, you guys are too loud. There's been a call about a group of kids are being too loud. Who's the adult here? Who's the oldest?" And I think I had just turned 18, so I was technically the oldest in the group. I wouldn't say I was an adult, but I was just the oldest. And they're all like, "David, come out." And I'm like, they're like, the police is talking to me, "What's your lot number?" I'm like, "Bro, I have no clue what you're talking about." They're all like, "Well, who's the adult here? Who's the oldest?" I'm like, "I'm the oldest." They're like, You're not even us. You got to take us to where you are. So we ended up having this whole scenario ended up happening. But those are two memories that I really think about regularly on how we did ministry as a teenager. Like that was us teenagers. Even that was student leadership, and
That's when we were still in Element
yeah, that's when we were still
as teens.
figuring out life. And now, what's one, if you remember, like what's a core teaching moment that you learned, either that a sermon from Pastor John Eric, it could have been something from Essence and Alpha Squad that you went out, or what is just something that you like, this is something I've held on to for a long time, as far as like I've learned in this way from 13 years. It doesn't even have to be from the past. It could be even something that you learned as an adult in our ministry, even now.
Oof.
I know that's a loaded question. It's hard to think of at the moment. I'm sorry.
That is a loaded question. I not so much a certain topic that we ever learned, but more so just the way that John Eric taught us just to be relational with our kids. Yeah, I think that's really how you do life with kids. It's really that, or how to minister to kids, and it's really just doing life with them. Yeah,
That's good. And because we are the leads now, we've kind of already trained ourselves to kind of take that to a higher level as far as relational ministry. And we here at the Element believe that relational ministry is like really important to just life in general. Because you can't have a youth ministry without being in relationship with teenagers. And so, one, we take that with a high standard and high priority. One, to even be a trusted adult to these teenagers, like a listening ear, and even to be able to speak life into them, that they trust us in that way. But it is something that is very difficult to do sometimes, because we want to be able to do life with these students, but sometimes there's some difficult stories that we hear, or there's even different experiences that are being brought to us that we've never experienced, and we're just trying to help them navigate in these areas like this. Is there like what would you say to a student that's like, or not a student, but what would you say to someone who doesn't really like understand youth ministry? Like, how would you sum up youth ministry to them? Like, outside of the relational, like, if that, I don't know if that question made sense. As I just said it, I was like, I don't know if it.
I don't know if I'm interpreting it right, but if I were to sum up youth ministry, I'd say it's chaos.
Yep.
Served with pizza. Also just trying to herd a bunch of sheep that are trying to test boundaries. Yeah.
That's good. That's a good answer. And I'll add on to that. Yes, it's chaos, but it's controlled chaos. We're not just allowing them to do anything, but we're also, like, one thing that I think we're in this season. I mean, we're new parents. We have a 1-year-old just about, and youth ministry, like, we know how to deal with teenagers, like, and we know how to say, we have you for a certain amount of hours and then go back with your parents. But we're about to enter into new territory where it's like, now we're going to eventually down the line, we're going to have a teenager, and this teenager is going to have to stay with us. It comes back home and does this. So how in your mind, I know this is another loaded question, we didn't really prep too much for this, so you got to give us grace. But, like, how is your experience in youth ministry going to help you when our daughter is a teenager?
One, I'm gonna know all the plays in the book. I'm gonna know all the ways that, we already see all the ways that teens think they're being slick or think they're getting away with things. But yeah, we can already tell a lot of that. So that's one. But I also think we're going to have a lot of grace when it comes to certain things, because we've already, or we probably would have experienced it with 50, 60, 70 teens already.
Yeah. And I agree with that also, because it's we know how to deal with teenagers, and we've experienced stuff as teenagers, and then now we're experiencing different points of view from teenagers now as Gen Z is what they're
Gen Z and Gen Alpha.
Gen Alpha. And then our daughter is she Gen Alpha, or
she'll be the last
Gen Alpha. So we're kind of already, like, understanding what this generation is like. So to kind of see how this generation is already, acting, it's easier to kind of understand, like, okay, this is a response out of the environment, or this is a response out of frustration with a friend, or, like, it's easier to kind of pick up social cues now. One, because I just think teenagers don't know how to. COVID really did something to our students, so it's easier to pick up social cues with them, or just even just like their how they interact with people. So even in that way, helping our daughter understand these things and the foundations of our faith. Now let's pivot a little bit. Let's get a little personal. How would you say, like, now that we're parenting our daughter, what is one foundation that you want to instill into her that either we lacked or something that you want to keep going, like keep on going, that you're like, my parents did this well, I want to. So let's do two. So let's do one that we missed, and then one that we want to keep going that our parents have instilled in us. So that way we're not, just dissing our parents. We love our parents. We love all that they have done for us. But, there's things that you learn and grow from, and things you want to do different, And so, yeah, here we go. I knew this was coming. But healing happens in moments like this where we have something of our own and we want to then have it poured out and be done differently to see that the healing moment has already been there. So do you want to go first, or do I give you time? I promise I would not use this as clickbait.
I think one thing hang on. We can cut this. I think one thing I think my makeup spirit. One thing that I'll definitely want to instill in her is that it's okay to show emotion. And also just giving her verbal affirmations and even saying I love you to her, which was a lot different than the way I grew up. I mean, I very much knew my parents loved me, but I came from a acts of service family, so we showed each other that we loved each other instead of telling each other.
Yeah.
But one thing that I did, or I do value that I learned growing up, is just like a really strong work ethic and just being, no, I don't want to use that word. I'll come back to that. If you want to share, like, one that you want to work on, and then I'll share one that I like.
Yeah. One, thank you for being vulnerable in that moment. I know also being on camera, it's a lot more difficult, and then knowing that this, it's going to go on the internet. But I think one, I just want to also just like encourage you that I've seen, like, being married to you, I've seen growth in that way. And so, whew, what the heck, girl? I don't want to cry now. So I do want to just, highlight the fact that I've seen that, and how you how you love Raylan, and how you do all of, I just said her name, how you love our daughter, and how you just do life with her even now. And we've seen just how much you have grown in that. And but it also is something that I think all of us can understand or learn from, is that, like, as much as acts of service was something that is important, like actions to show that you love you is important, but also words are just as important too. Sometimes, we can thrive off of show me that you love me, but sometimes we need to be told that, hey, you love me, and ultimately Jesus is the one that gives us the true love, that tells us he loves us, and has already provided the action that he loves us by dying on the cross. And so, but yeah, I just wanted to say that to you. I've seen that, and how you love our daughter. And so, but one thing, I think for me, I'll say one thing that I think we're the opposite. Whereas, like, I've gotten the words of affirmations and gotten that at such a young age, but like my work ethic was still very, like, for Gen Z term, it was very mid. And there are times, like, depending on what I'm passionate about, I can be very good when it comes to the work ethic, but when it's something that, like, I'm not very passionate about, I get very lax in. And then that doesn't really translate well in areas of my life where I'm trying to grow in even more. And then sometimes I can hinder relationships, or just even organization wise, like my just systems of doing things in order. If I'm lax in that, then it throws everything off. And sometimes I can get in my head, and then it's like a ripple effect and things like that. So I think for me, if I'm trying to instill something into our children, it's like a balance of both, whereas, like, the words matter, and all of this matters to you, but also, like, hey, let's hold in the tension of, like, hey, your work does matter as well, but also I'll give grace where you fall short, because I know I've fallen short a lot, and I've needed a lot of grace in that. And even till today as an adult. And we joke a lot about, like, we still feel like we're not adults, and how are we raising up a child and all of this. But it's just the reality of the season that we're in. And now that, like, we're in youth ministry and we're dealing with teenagers at a pivotal moment of their life, they're trying to figure out who they are. They're deciding what career path they're going to go into. They're still trying to figure out their identity and their purpose, and all, like, just big questions. And we just get the privilege to kind of help answer some of those, or just, like, really water the seed to see where it will sprout to. And that's the same with, I think, our daughter, but we don't wait until that moment where she's a teenager. I think that opportunity starts now, and we start instilling things now, so that way the scriptures say, train up a child in the way they should go, so they would never leave it. And in that way, we're training up a child with work ethics, morals, all of this, but also biblical literacy, what it is to follow Jesus, what it is to pray, what it is to read your word, like, balancing both those at the same time, while also acknowledging that, like, this is all new for her, Yeah. And this is new for us, like, and so we can't expect her to have all the answers, and we can't expect her to do the ways, a certain way for it to be done. And that's one thing I've liked about our relationship too, is that we've had to learn that, like, there's many different ways of how things can be done, and it's not just one way. But also, like, there is hey, this is a convenient way. But sometimes, hey, it's okay if this way is to be flexible. And so I don't know if you wanted to bounce off of any of that, but I know that was a loaded answer or response.
I mean, one of the things you did touch on that was like really big in our marriage was about the like coming together and like learning, oh, we have two different ways of doing things. And then like for me, I came in as like the perfectionist who like always had to have everything done a certain way. And I had to learn like it's okay if the towels aren't folded in the way that I would. Like the towels are still being folded and put away. Like it's okay. So that's something that
so much more now that she don't fold. All right, she likes my folding now, so she does the laundry and I do all the folding. So hey, we compromise. That's
yes,
the point.
we compromise. That's marriage. But yeah, just think like that. It was literally like two worlds coming together. But going back to something that I appreciated and would like to instill in Rayla, would like to instill in our daughter, is the work ethic and the discipline and even the acts of service. I still really enjoy all that. I do think it's really important to be able to show up for someone and not just give empty words. So if we say we're going to do something, then
Let's do it.
we're going to do it. And also just like in the discipline aspect of like, sometimes we're not going to want to do things, but like, the things that we don't want to do, but we still have to, like instilling in her that if we make a commitment, then we're going to follow through.
Yeah, that's good. And we're not perfect, and we're gonna make mistakes, and we're gonna go through the trial run of each phase of life from toddler all the way through. But yeah, I'm encouraged, one, that God has placed her in our life for many reasons, and we get to have the privilege and honor to be her parents, and we get the privilege and honor to be spiritual parents to all the students that are in our lives, and really just do life with them. So as we reflect and look back at the 13 years of ministry, it's so easy to be like, oh, these games were the best, or this moment made me feel good, or all of that. But for us, we hold the tension of, man, in those moments of deep prayer, and in those moments of where like you feel alone in leadership, I truly depend on your words and your insight, because there's not a lot of people who understand the weight of leadership, of hearing kids' stories and traumas and experiences, all while we're raising a family and we're serving our community and our church. And there's a lot. But all of it is glory unto God. And the beautiful tension that we're in, it's like, how many people are we able to point to the cross of Jesus and to say, we don't have it all together, but he has it all together. And in that way, we get to walk this journey of life with them. And You know, 13 years of ministry is huge. It's a milestone, and it's things that we're praying that God continues to bless this ministry with even more students, bless this ministry even with even more years to come. And we are just praying that God will bring us students who are even more on fire. We have students right now that are on fire for Jesus, and we're just praying that they just spread the wildfire and it just ignites and gets other students to feel this. But as we wrap up this episode, I do want to say, as much as I'm the extroverted and my wife is the introverted, for her to do something like this is huge. And so I am very thankful that you're on this pod with us. And also, like, everyone's used to seeing me on the stage and on the mic and all this, and to be able to have her voice shine and speak life and all this. I'll say one thing. My wife does one-on-one ministry so well. She speaks life to teenagers, to girls who are struggling so well, and she's able to be a listening ear and gives sharp words, and sometimes I'll even say they're even prophetic words that she would just drop into them. And so for her to do this, like that ministry alone, one-on-one with them, or just really love on students, like that's her pride and joy. Like, she can do that very well. And then you put camping on top of that, she blows you out the water. So
Don't forget about my admin.
Oh, at your administration, yes. She keeps it all together. If it wasn't for my wife, I don't know where I'd be organizational wise with the element. But the spreadsheets, all of it, the schedule, she got it down packed. But 13 years of ministry, many more to come. More Holy Ghost filled students that are going to come into our ministry, and we're just believing that God does big things in our lives, even more, that he encounters us radically, and we've already been seeing the hand of God in our lives these past couple months. So it's been an amazing opportunity to be in the position and the roles that we're in, and to advance the kingdom of God. That's really all that matters. And so if you are hearing this message for the first time, Jesus loves you so much, with words and with action. So hold that in the tension that you're in right now, but accept and acknowledge what he has done for us. And I'd pray that you would encounter him one day, because he so deeply encountered us and changed our lives for the better. So, sorry, that concludes our In Your Element podcast. We hope to see you. Tune in, like, subscribe, comment, do all of that good stuff. I'm David Barreto, and that is my beautiful wife, Carina Barreto. In Your Element, we're out.